spend so much time and you love the person so much that there is so much of entitlement in you suddenly, and along with it comes familiarity as well. And you are so familiar that you stop receiving. You only hear, you don't receive. There were all these people with Jesus in Nazareth, hearing him, but so familiar with him, they couldn't receive a single thing from him. It's written, but Jesus could not heal. What? Jesus could not heal? You can say that about me every day if you want to, but what do you mean Jesus could not heal? Awesome. Sit down. Thank you. How are we doing tonight? Are you sure? Well, it's important that we're doing good tonight. Are you guys happy to be here? Are you excited to be here? That is awesome. We've been, I was in India for a while, and a lot of meetings and catching up with so many old friends and making friends with new pastors, and it was lovely to see so many people around the world connecting to WOW. That's a joy when you get to see that. It really excites you. It's not what it used to be. It is beyond what you ever thought it would ever be. That's how big this thing is. It's spreading. It's wild. It's wild. And there's so many out there. So many out there excited for every Sunday and every Tuesday waiting. And that's an awesome thing, right? So I had to spend yesterday and today sitting and listening to all the messages that were preached here. And it was awesome. There are so many aspects and perspectives on servant leadership. And today, I want to very quickly show you something that I believe is so important when it comes to leadership, something that I've been trying to learn. I've been trying to put it to use in my life, something that I've been teaching at church, because I believe as it's important to understand leadership for the way it is. And church leadership is, if you will understand, it's a bit different. Things happen differently. Amen. So I want to talk a bit on that, and then let's see if you're going to be excited. We might continue. Depending on if you yawn, then we'll have to. And you know the trick now. I'm sure, like 5 minutes from now, there are going to be two people just to see if I'd stop. Awesome. So, when I was listening to the sermons, I remember Raj mentioning something. We were having this conversation with Kirby, and he said that these two things, the most funniest thing that I've heard, said there were these two things that I so badly wanted two things in my life. That's what Kirby said. He said one was to get married, and take note. One was to get married, and the other was to find a leader that he could submit to. Is that crazy? Like, how many of us have ever grown up thinking, I need to find a leader that I could submit to? Like, to be honest, I was on the other side of the I was trying to run away from every leader that came at me, Trying to find a good leader to submit to. Isn't that awesome? And I was thinking, everyone needs a leader. Everybody needs a leader. And the world today understands that more than the church, I believe, because there's so much of mentorship programs and this and that and everything happening out there, because everyone's understood that if you're going to grow, you need a leader. And you would definitely agree because you've grown, because you found a good leader. You have grown because you found people that can trust you, look at the good in you, pull it out of you, push you, not allow you to be victimized, never allow any sort of self-pity. They just give it to you as it is, and you learned and you've grown. Isn't that amazing? But there's another aspect that I want you to look at today, right? So I'm going to go there, but before that I want to talk about this word. Paul describes it beautifully when Paul talks about the mystery. Paul talks about the mystery. And then he says, he first says, husbands, love your wives like Christ loves the church. In other words, be ready to die any moment. Right? That was not for the wife anyway. So, but the wives, he said, submit. Right, submit. So, it's got nothing to do with anything. I just want to take that word. First of all, just to help you understand, first of all, isn't it very easy to, like Kay always says, isn't it very easy to submit to a husband who is like Christ? How easy is that? Right, so if the husband is ready to lay down his life, it'll be so easy to submit. So what I'm trying to say, submit. Look, submission. My God, looks like a heavy word right there. Like the moment you hear it, you want to run away. Submission. Wow. What's going to happen to me after that, right? Like, why in heaven's name would you want to go and submit? Like, because that's also because of the trauma that very word has caused in the churches to begin with. Like, if you are not under my submission, if you go out of my covering, you are cursed, you're done with, rotten for the rest of your life. This trauma, that word carries a weight that we've all experienced, right? But when you understand, when you come to the understanding that submission is nothing but trust, it's actually nothing but trust. It's nothing but trust. When you understand, oh, that's it. Trust. Everything becomes so simple and beautiful. What am I trying to say? You have all found a leader that you can trust. Right? And they have made this a safe space for you and I. Won't you agree? Isn't this an absolute safe space for you and I? Right? And where did it come from? It came from the leaders and the leadership and them helping you trust them. Trust just didn't happen, they've helped you trust them, right? And it's very important because John puts it down beautifully. In a verse he says, if you cannot love the one that you see, how will you love the one that you can't see? Are you okay? Yeah, and that concept applies to everything then. If you cannot submit the one that you see, how will you submit to, like if you can't honor the one that you see, how will you? So when you look at it that way, leadership leadership in church actually is the representation of the good shepherd. So when you learn to trust your leader, you're in turn learning to, it really helps model your relationship with God. Your relationship with your leaders helps model your relationship with God. Just like your relationship with each other, like husbands and wives, your relationship with each other, your relationship with your father. There's so many aspects to relationships, the way it models Christ. Hi. So are you okay? So when I'm in saying that, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to take you to Ephesians 4 to help you understand something. Well, can we go to Ephesians chapter 4? Just read that before I go into what I really want to speak. Ephesians chapter 4. All right, it's there. Verse 11? 10, sorry. 10? 8. 7, 6, 5. When he ascended on high, that's the one. Therefore, he says, when he ascended on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts to men. Are you with me? He's saying he gave gifts to men. Somebody shout gifts. He gave gifts to men. What are these gifts? In verse 11 it says, and he himself gave some to be apostles, some prophets, teachers, pastors, evangelists, for the equipping of the saints. All right? So you and me, we've been given a gift. It's so important to look at it that way. We've been given a gift. Like from who gave this gift? God looked at you and I and thought, I need to give these guys a gift. When he decided to give you a gift, you might not have even been part of this community. You would have been elsewhere, but he knows beginning to the end, and he knew that one day this gift is what's going to help your walk, and he decided to give you a gift. And he gave you the most beautiful gift possible in the form of KNF. Like we call them, prophets, Kirby and Fiona. And you have gifts in front of you. So these gifts, if you can't love, then don't say, I love God. Your gifts, if you can't honor, you can't say, I honor God, but. Your gifts, if you can't submit, you don't say, oh, I submit to God. I live a very godly life, spiritual. I am the epitome of spirituality, you know. It doesn't work that way. Do you understand? If you've been given a leader, you've been given a gift. By who? By God himself. Because he saw you where you are and decided this one requires this gift. So, in saying that, it's very important you get that, because only then you'll understand what I'm going to say next, right? In saying that, I want to talk about this aspect that I want to bring into this servant leadership to help understand something. So Jesus started his life, let's say, Jesus starts his life as a leader at the age of 30, right? That is, now I'm not going to look at Jesus as, you know, of course he is the Lord, right? It's not that we don't understand that, but I want to help you understand leadership. So Jesus steps out as a leader at age 30, right? And what was the first thing he did? Yeah, of course, you're going to say water into wine. I know you. That's not what I'm talking about. You know, what was the first thing that Jesus decided to do? He decided to get himself a crew. Are you with me? Jesus starts his life as a leader at age 30, and the first thing he decides to do is get a crew for himself. Because he saw something that some of us still aren't able to see, which I'll explain in a little bit. He got a crew for himself. Now, at first glance, this crew might have been the most, how do you put it? What's the word? Why in heaven's name would you go pick up a fisherman with such a big purpose to fulfill? Because Jesus was very clear about his purpose. You know, you know Jesus, like he's the deal. So he's the leader. So he goes picking these fishermen and tax collector and this guy called Judas, knowing that he would betray and doing all those things. But then the first thing he does is he picks a crew. Peter, to begin with, so important to understand this. Peter, he didn't give two hoots about who Jesus was. He was so busy fishing when the meeting happens, so busy fishing, haven't caught anything. And when Jesus says, you know, he was so good at his job. this whole night he's been fishing, haven't got a single fish. And then that's how he meets Jesus. And then he still doesn't know. When you read it, he still doesn't know. Jesus says, cast your net on the other side. And then you're like, why the heck do you want me to cast the net on the other side? The whole thing. And then he casts the net on the other side. And finally, now he's got a load of fish. And that's how he it's written, he suddenly realizes, oh my God, you must be someone else. And then Jesus says, come on, follow me. Let's go. And the guy just started following him. There was, is this how you pick a crew? Yeah, okay. So the first thing Jesus did was pick a crew. Okay, that in itself should have given you your sermon for the night, you know. But I'm very sure Jesus saw something in them that you and I didn't see when we read the fisherman. He probably saw so far away into who they were, probably something that even they didn't know about themselves. But the whole point is, Jesus, to fulfill his purpose, needed a crew for himself. You can have a gift from God standing right here, and he might be standing here with the biggest, greater purpose of all times. He still needs a crew to get it done. And that's what I want to challenge you with tonight. Are you okay? Yes. Let's go to Matthew chapter 20. Matthew chapter 20. I want to show you something, and let's take it from there. And let's go to verse 17. I think this side is easier to read. Now Jesus, going up to Jerusalem, took the 12 disciples aside on the road. Another version says he took them aside, he took them privately, he took them away privately to talk to them. Behold, we are going to Jerusalem, he says, and the Son of Man will be betrayed to the chief priests and to the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and deliver him to the Gentiles. He's talking about his death. He calls the disciples aside privately, and he tells them, guys, I'm going to go to Jerusalem, and there I'm going to die. Now, this is not the first time, right? This is actually the third time that Jesus is talking to the disciples about his death. The first time he spoke to Peter, and the way Peter acted up, he had to be rebuked. And the second time, it said the disciples were distressed. And now here, again, right? But then the whole point is, he takes them all privately. Obviously, when it says disciples, there were other people among them as well, is what we get to know when we read the story. He takes them all privately, and he tells them, guys, are you listening? He says, I'm going to have to go to Jerusalem, and I'm going to die. Is that a serious thing? That's a serious thing. What happens next, for me, is the unimaginable. It's written, then the mother of Zebedee's sons came to him with her sons. She knelt down, like all that was there. She knelt down in honor and said, and Jesus asked, what do you want? These guys, she said to him, grant that these two sons of mine may sit one on your right and one on the left. What? Here is Jesus, he's privately taken them all aside, saying, hey, I'm going to go die. I've come here with a purpose. I have to get this done. The scribes and the Pharisees, and he's using all these big words and saying all these big things. And these guys, when you read Mark, you understand, it was not just the mom. They were also there asking, who can sit on your... And these guys are standing there asking, okay, all that is fine. But when the time comes, can I be on the left side and him on the right side? I know you got like 12 of us here, but we would like to take that place, all right? Like, we know you. We know you as a leader. We want to be seen right next to you at all times. We want to be with you in places of power. It has to be us, okay? I read that, I'm like, what? Because here's the biggest problem. Are you ready? Here's the bigger problem. They've been walking with Jesus for 3 long years. They've even found love, like in the sense they've learned to love him as well. With all the funny things they do, they've learned to love him as well, right? Obviously, when you read it, you realize they've learned to love him as well. But they still hadn't caught Jesus' vision. Are you with me? You can have a leader who pours into you, and you might adore him for it, but if you haven't caught his vision, you're going to be like James and his brother, thinking about all the selfish, useless things that you can think about that will benefit you, and not understanding that there is a bigger purpose and a bigger vision. Are you okay? Okay, we have a community. We have a leader. And I am 100% sure that you all love him and her. I am sure you're ready to do so many things for them. I don't know to what extent, but I'm sure you do. But my question to you today is, have you understood the vision? And do you want to be part of the vision? Do you want to be partakers of the vision? Because in any given place, there can be a visionary. Hello? We can't have a room full of visionaries. That means 100 different visions. And too many cooks, you know what they do. Each one going, each direction is not going to help. So in any given place, let it be a corporate, let it be wherever, let it be church, there will be a visionary, and the visionary will need facilitators. So here comes Jesus. He knew that he was going to be there doing something for 3 years, but he knew the purpose. He had a grand vision for the world. He had something in mind when he was there for the 3 years. And he picked a crew. Why? Because he knew that they were the ones who were going to get it done. But here are, for example, are 2 out of those 12 with their own vision. What's the vision? Okay, you be president. I just want to be left hand and right hand. That's all I'm asking for. like me coming here has to benefit me, no? Like me taking 2 hours every Sunday and every Tuesday has to benefit me, you know? Like, of course, why else do you think I come? But are you okay? I want you to think about it though. What's the point in being seen next to your leaders all the time? Or what's the point in having power that makes you feel good? Or what's the point in being with your leader in church if you haven't understood that he carries a vision? And he is doing everything possible to pull out the best in you, not just so that you can be blessed and go back home feeling all good. It's so that together we can all help that vision. That we could all help facilitate or bring to life these big visions and the goals that have been set for these visions. The day you understand that and take responsibility, things will change. Are you with me? Of course, I come here so I can get my healing. Of course, I come here so that I can prosper. Of course, I want my businesses to do well. Of course, I want to do well in my workplace. Of course, I want to be the best at what I do. And of course, that is what is expected out of you as well. But what is the, the bigger, greater purpose? Okay, business is going to do well. Okay, you're going to be healed and well. Okay, you're going to be blessed. And then what? Are you okay? You know, keep that thing up there, please. What were we doing? Matthew 20, yes. And then, but Jesus said, you do not know what you ask. This is what you need to understand. Hello? Are you with me? Yes. You do not know what you are. Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink? I want to stop right there. You know, the one with the vision drinks the cup. It's the one with the vision that goes. Do you understand what I'm saying? You and I might not be able to manage it, is why he's been given that vision. Otherwise, it could have been given to me, but it wasn't. You do not know what you ask because you are not ready to drink of the cup that I'm about to drink. And if you thought the cup was that easy, you would have had it in your hands, but hey, it's me here with the cup. Not me, I'm talking about. Hello? And that is exactly why there is one standing with the cup ready to go through everything for your sakes and for the world and for the community. And all he wants back is a crew that would stop thinking that way. That would stop thinking about the cup, how nice it would be if I had the cup. Or, are you with me? He said, are you able to drink the cup that I'm about to drink and be baptized with the baptism that I am? I am so very sure, but then listen very carefully. I am so very sure at that moment in time, no Peter, no James, no John would have ever been able to go through what he went through. At that moment in time, it was him. Vision, him. Purpose, him. But he was preparing them for a greater purpose that they still hadn't understood. Probably we might find ourselves in that similar situation where we still haven't understood. But look at this. And he said to them, you will indeed drink my cup. Hello? Hello? But he said, you will indeed. At that moment, you're not ready for the cup. But you will indeed. Somebody. But you will indeed drink my cup and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But it's not about sitting at my right hand or my left. It's not mine to give. But it is for those whom it is prepared. Hello? Do you get what I'm saying? Let's look at that verse one more time. If you understand it, you understood it. So he said to them, you will indeed, at that moment say, you're not ready for this cup. You're not ready for the baptism that I'm going to be baptized with. But there's going to come a time. There is going to come a time when you will indeed drink of that cup. You will be and that is what this preparation is. But you don't reach that place if you don't learn to be that facilitator. You don't reach that place if you are not able to see the vision and the greater purpose and do your all and become your best and come and give it all towards that vision and that purpose. You understand? That is probably why somewhere down the line they learned, these guys, the disciples, somewhere down the line they had learned something. And that's the beautiful part, because one of the first apostles to be martyred was James, was this very guy. The very one who wanted to, he had no idea. But then, just like Jesus says, a time would come that you will also drink the cup. You will also be baptized. Right now, you have no idea. But can you give your all and facilitate and help this vision? Because when the time comes, you will drink of the cup. When the time comes, you will be baptized with the same baptism. And the first person, one of the first apostles to be beheaded, persecuted for his faithfulness to the vision was this very James, who wanted to be on the left or the right. Probably why John, he didn't have that opportunity, I guess, because he's 90 and he's stuck in an island and writing letters. And in one of those letters he writes, this is how we know love, that God laid down his life for us. And we ought to lay down our life for others. And probably he was sitting there thinking with memories of 60 years ago, the way we were doing these funny things with Jesus around, and how James, my brother, said he wanted to be at the left hand when Jesus came to power, and look where we are now. We have laid our lives down as well, just like our leader. Are you all okay? I don't know where it happened. Probably it happened when that one fine day, John chapter 21, Peter gets up and goes fishing, and everybody joined him, and all of them went fishing, and there. They've gone back to where they've been picked from. They're still clueless about the purpose. They're still clueless about vision. They still have no idea what Jesus was all about and what he wants to do. And there, Jesus comes again. Jesus comes and stands there again. Are you with me? And when your leaders don't let go of you so easily, when your leaders don't give up on you so easily, when they keep coming after you again and again, wanting to see that change, wanting to push you, it is grace coming after you again and again. And that is what grace looks like, by the way. And there is Jesus standing there and saying, hey, if you love me, then be part of my vision. That's exactly what he's saying there. Feed my sheep. Take care of my sheep. Saying, if you love me, be part of my vision. And I think probably that's where that change happened. I don't know where the change happened. What would have pushed these guys? Because that's all we read about there. And after that, it's all history where this one was beheaded. That one was going to be crucified, and he cries, don't crucify me like my Lord. Crucify me upside down. Like, what the heck happened to all of you? You will drink of my cup. You will be baptized. But now, I am holding the cup in my hand. I am going through the baptism. will you forget who's on the right and who's on the left? And will you forget about yourself and the power that you like to have and the way you like to portray yourself and just facilitate this to happen? Hello? Are you all okay? I don't know if you're all listening intently or... Okay, all right, I trust you. And that is why this verse will make so much sense to you today when you read it. It's in Galatians chapter 5. Let's go to Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5. And let's go to verse 13. Look at what it says. For you, brethren, are you with me? This is exactly what's happened. For you, brethren, have been called to liberty. You have been delivered and pushed into freedom. How many of you enjoy freedom in life today? Like you never would have anywhere else? Your brethren have been called to liberty. Only do not use liberty as an opportunity for the flesh. Hello? But only, Paul says, but this only I ask of you. Don't use the freedom as an opportunity for the flesh. I don't know if you remember the last time I was here, I was talking about flesh. Right? It's not sin. It's not, Jesus took care of sin in the flesh. That's what's written, right? So flesh we understand when we read Philippians and what Paul says, and I spoke to you about not to be indebted to the flesh. You remember? But then this is what's beautifully written here. There's another version that I loved. Is this NKJV? What version is this? Yeah? Okay. I don't remember which version. It said, you have been called to freedom, only do not use the freedom to serve your flesh. Hello? Only do not use the freedom to serve your flesh, but through love, serve one another. Are you with me? So in context, you in love can bring everything that you got, that you're becoming, that you become, that you're planning to, what the future holds for you personally. You can bring it all and serve the vision and be partaker of the vision. And can I tell you the secret? And therein you find your purpose. Because we could be happily thinking, my purpose on earth is to be a singer, or I think so. But do you realize that there is a bigger purpose? Of course, this can be a great thing. You can be a singer, you can be a dancer, you can do all those things, like beautiful, right? And you expressing yourself is the single most beautiful thing on earth, right? But there is a bigger purpose. And you will never find that unless you become part of the vision. Are you okay? I just want to make sure that you remember that verse. That you will learn through love to serve. That you will learn through love to serve. That you will not use this liberty as an opportunity for your flesh, but through love you will learn to serve. That you will not use this liberty as an opportunity for flesh, but you will learn to love, and through love to serve. Amen. So, what will stop you? I'll have to just look at that side as well, and then I'll finish, right? Okay, it is time. See, I knew it was time when I saw some of your faces. Didn't have to be discerning, didn't have to be prophetic in any way. I saw some of your faces and I knew, oh, I think I've taken a bit too long. And then I checked my time and it's true. There are just these two things that I want to tell you. And then I'm gonna be done. These two things I can actually do in 2 minutes, but if you're listening. There's this What stops you and me from being partakers of this vision? What can stop you and me from finding and fulfilling our purpose in this vision? What can stop you and me from helping our leaders achieve the goals that they set? Have you thought about it? I was reading all these stories. Again, I was thinking of these guys, these disciples. Disciples, it literally means disciplining. There was absolutely nothing of that sort with those 12. So one day, Jesus is walking with his boys, and they wouldn't allow him into a village. And there's two of these boys again get up. Shall we just call fire down from heaven? When you read that, you're like, okay, which world were they, or which world are we living in today? Like, what would that have looked like? Okay, they're not letting us in. Jesus, you don't worry. Let's just call down fire, finish them off, and go on to the next village. Like Jesus, I'm sure he was like, of what spirit are you guys? I'm exactly sure that's how it might have been. Like, what? Of what spirit are you guys? That's what he says. These are the disciples. When I look at them, here is Jesus. So many times he told them, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. They are going to come, they're going to take me. Finally, they come to take him. One pulls out the sword and chops one's ear. First of all, what the heck were you doing with the sword? But again, a fisherman with the sword, he was something, that guy. And on him, Jesus wanted to build the church. But what am I trying to say? The first thing that I want to say is, love for the leader and not for his vision will stop you from you walking into your purpose. I can love a person to death, that I'm ready to lay my life for the person. What's the whole point if I don't understand his vision and don't help grow that? And in the process, it's me who hasn't found my purpose. In the process, it's me at a loss. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? My love for my leader and not for his vision. That's the first thing. I don't think I have to elaborate on it at all. And the second thing, I don't need to elaborate either. That's why I said I'll finish that in 2 minutes. The second thing is so beautiful. I love the way Mark started this whole thing off. I was here that Sunday, and then I'm here now. But I love how he started it off talking about this really thin, small little crack that you can fall into called familiarity. That you don't even know you're there, but you're there. You spend so much time and you love the person so much that there is so much of entitlement in you suddenly, and along with it comes familiarity as well. And you are so familiar that this one I've shared hundreds and hundreds of times, but I'll tell you again. You're so familiar that you stop receiving. You only hear, you don't receive. Hello. There were all these people with Jesus in Nazareth, hearing him, but so familiar with him, they couldn't receive a single thing from him. It's written, but Jesus could not heal. What Jesus could not heal? You can say that about me every day if you want to, but what do you mean Jesus could not heal? He could not.
They were all his family and friends, and they were all, yeah, we know him when he was a kid. He used to do that. He used to do that. I know that. He's with me. Yeah, okay. And he's reading something. Let's listen. Okay, sounds good. Did you receive anything? No. Absolutely nothing. Are you okay? These two things I want to leave you with tonight. Your love for your leader and not his vision, and familiarity are your biggest demons that you will have to fight. And when you take it head on, you will walk into your purpose and in the process fulfill your destiny. But my challenge to you today is, are you ready to be a facilitator of a greater vision that is in front of you? Using all, do you know that you've been really worked on? All the good things have been pulled out of you. You've been shown a bigger, greater life so you can be the best. Why? So you can understand that greater vision and help bring that vision to life together. And that's my challenge tonight. You have a gift from God. And how you treat that gift and what you do. Every gift comes with a purpose. This has come with a purpose too. And how you understand and treat this decides your purpose and your destiny. Amen. All right, you need to give yourselves a hand for sitting patiently and listening to me for almost 45 minutes. Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. You will do greater things in Jesus' name.